is up, everyone, and welcome back to 2 Times the Grind.
It's good to be back.
Episode 44, and we're on camera.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. For a minute there, I was actually worried it was going to, well, for me anyway, bleed into this week.
Yeah.
Because I was really
You only
sick.
started getting better like probably a day or two ago, huh?
Yeah. Today is the first day I actually feel like myself.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was okay, but I felt a bit tired.
You sound
really
way
tired.
more normal too.
Yeah. I still have a tiny bit of I don't know. You can kind of probably hear it a little bit. But we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I'm feeling a lot better actually today. How are you guys feeling? Anyone else get sick, especially after the LAN?
If you attended the event?
Yeah. Just in general?
We had like worst case scenario because I got sick. I was sick for probably about a week. You know, we did the one episode of the podcast, obviously, right after the event. You didn't get sick right after the event. You got sick a week later. As I was finishing up being sick, you got sick.
Horrendous.
I feel like that's worst case scenario.
Horrendous scenes.
Yeah. But
the
anyway,
worst scenes.
we're back. Good to be back.
We're back, baby.
Good to see you, LVP.
So silly. Good to see you too. Yeah, we have a quite a decent amount to talk about, honestly. Like, I think in terms of, you know, things to talk about, categories, topics, we actually have like a backup of stuff that I especially want to talk about. Yeah. We're obviously going to try and discuss pressing matters, pressing things that are happening currently, because it's no good discussing those 2 weeks in advance, as many people told us with the Scumper Methods retirement.
Yeah. Like, dude, that happened a month ago.
I was like, I'm sorry. But yeah, so actually the first thing we wanted to discuss was not Halo Infinite. It was something to do with Apex, which we just had the ALGS in London. A lot of friends of ours were working that one, so that was really, really cool. And yeah, we want to talk a little bit about the retirement aspect for esports, because the ALGS kind of bleeds into that in terms of certain specific individuals who are famous Apex, you know, pro gamers, pro players who have retired, and just interesting topics churning out around it as well.
I was gonna say, we had an interesting conversation about it, and we thought we should bring it to the podcast because basically, should I just kind of say what happened, I guess? Yeah, and then we'll kind of break it down. Also,
before we do that, no coffee again today. We've just, obviously being sick and stuff, we haven't really gone out to buy any new bags, but there's a couple of local coffee roasters that we want to go and try. We have our eyes set on a couple, don't we?
Yeah.
A couple different shops and stuff. So we're going to be doing that today. I'm actually drinking Ghost protein, if anyone wants to know. Not sponsored. Not sponsored. Drinking Ghost
just like
protein.
The protein.
Love the protein. This one's the Cinnabon one. If you guys want to check it out, go for it.
Love it so much that we went and got our own.
Yeah, this one's quite sweet, actually.
I got sent loads of Ghost, obviously, being with FaZe. Big thank you to them.
If you're listening to the podcast only, and you're wondering what the shaking sound is in the ice, it's my shaker and it's the protein. So just to let you guys know, but no coffee today.
Yeah, I was going to say, we loved it so much that I got sent a bunch of Ghosts, obviously, from being with FaZe. That is somewhat sponsored because they are a sponsor of FaZe. But we loved the protein so much we went out and bought some, didn't we? Because we needed extra. Anyway, so we had an interesting conversation about kind of like something that's going to be happening across esports in general. Like, the more going forward, obviously we'll see how things go in the next couple of years. But basically a pro player who has gained a lot of popularity in the past, let's call it a year or so. Yeah. His Watson decided to retire. They had not a great showing at this, I'm going to call it a major. You know, I know it's like the split 2 playoff, but we'll say major. And he put out a post. Basically, he was deciding no matter what that he was going to retire. And it's interesting because I think it's something that a lot of popular, like, look, he's on the big popularity scale of professional gamer, and I think it's something that a lot of people and a lot of players are going to have to continue to decide on. He decided to go the content creation route. He loves it. He said, you know, and we were talking about it. We're like, man, what an added factor this is going to be for professional players, you know, like having to fight that battle of should I, shouldn't I, should I leave this, should I go into that? What do you think?
It's an interesting topic. It's just, you know, I guess you have to understand the risk you're taking. I think, especially with streaming, I think streaming is such an incredible, lucrative thing to be doing for a career. However, there is risk to it, right? With reward. The risk is that you're just not that person. You're just not the person that people want to go watch. Or you might be for half a year, and then what happens when people don't really want to watch you anymore? Yeah. Or, you know, support you. how does that work? You know, it's really difficult because there is not a huge amount of trajectory for it. I think you can look at numbers and look at your growth across the year and be like, okay, well, you've grown a certain percent across the year, and that's fantastic. And, you know, mathematically, yes, it definitely works. But then you can't also decide your popularity rate and how that will then grow. You know, you say one thing maybe that people don't agree with, and suddenly, boom, those numbers go down. Like, I mean, you just don't know. I think that's the scary part about it, is like taking that risk, like, I don't know. Just
it's like you said, it's the unknown, and it's the reason why we're bringing it up is because of how interesting it is that it's now going to be, I think, more and more of a thing you see. Esport. You okay? It's okay. Are you all right? You need a sip of You need a sip of Ghost protein.
This would be such a good sponsored part. Yeah, I do. I really need a sip of this. No, I do this regularly, guys. This is actually not me sick.
Yeah.
This is me choking on my own spit.
I know. I thought you were coughing for a second. I was like, wow, I haven't heard you cough all day. Yep. You okay? You back?
Oh, I'm alive.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that it's going to be a continued thing that we see being I don't know what the word would be called. It's not a dilemma, just a decision that some players are going to have to make. It's like you said, it's a really big unknown. I think the first people that I can think of that I was like, whoa, there's three people that come to mind when I think of this. And it was this exact scenario. And it was Nadeshot, Scump, and Ninja. And it was like they were all doing so, you know, they're pro players, and they were all doing so well as professional players, but their content creation was obviously taking off so much where even, you know, being outside looking in, I'm like, man, like that's got to be tough. You know, a tough battle for someone like his Watson. I remember seeing he posted a post. Twitch was doing like an ad incentive program, and he posted like what his ad incentive was for a day. He shared it, so I could talk about it. And it was like $60,000 in ad revenue for a month of streaming, and it's like, damn, like, you know, and bless him. I don't know him at all. I don't, you know, I don't know 100% what kind of person he is, but I do respect the fact that he actually took a lot. He said, that is so much money, I'm going to donate it. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I think he like built PCs for people, which I think is really sweet thing to do. But yeah, I mean, talk about decisions, right?
Yeah, I think you know, I think it's really cool, right? I think it's such an amazing thing to be able to then progress to after retirement, or, you know, or even retiring because of. I do think that there's a couple of decisions that need to be made, and it's do you love competing anymore?
Yeah.
Because I think that it would be a shame to lose incredibly talented competitors because money's better. Yeah. But hey, that is how the world works. Go get your bag.
It's a business,
you know
decision.
What I mean? 100%.
Yeah. For him, he did say
it's just sad. You know, it's just sad.
For him, he did say he didn't love competing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. It's if you are not enjoying it anymore and you have an avenue that you can go and explore and go down, I think that's incredible. And I think you need to go and do it and take that opportunity / risk.
Grab it
and do it. As long as you're prepared for the fact that there could be a time when it's not as good anymore. The hype of you is over. Yeah. You know, because that's something that worries me with streamers. Like, it's like, what happens if you're not that guy anymore or that girl? Like, it's scary. But it's being able to grow and to grow your community and grow with your community and be supportive and be, you know, the right type of person. It's really difficult, but I think if that's something you want to do and your interests are not with competing anymore, then I think that's what should happen. Yeah. It would make me sad to see like such incredible competitors go just because, you know, like, it's not that they've lost the love of the game or the competition aspect. It's because, like, obviously, like, opportunity-wise, money-wise, it's the better decision. Yeah. Makes sense. It just makes me sad.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I was reading his post, and I was like, you know, I thought this back when I saw the ad incentive thing that he had. I was like, I mean, how do you not throw up the option of, like, I could just go streaming full-time right here, and you're making enough money in a year that you justify without question.
You might make enough money in a year in the first part where you're set for life.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because the person I always think of when I think of this too, I think of Seth Scump. Yeah. Because he was the opposite, where everyone said the same thing with him, where it was like, man, like, you know, everyone knew Seth. He had worked so hard on his brand and optic and everything, where everyone knew when he stopped competing, he had that avenue. And he really, because of how much he loved competing, he really put it on the back burner.
He did.
You know,
he squeezed as many years of competing out as I think honestly he could.
Yeah, and
especially with COD being so ruthless.
Yeah, and we all know. I mean, he could still be playing into next year.
He was fantastic.
He was
in his
so
last year.
good in his last year.
Fantastic.
He didn't retire because of skill.
No,
you know,
no,
but
he did not.
It's interesting when you think about it, and you know, just to wrap it up, it'll be interesting to see. If it continues to go down this way, it'll be interesting to see kind of, you know, like I said, just the decisions that players are really going to have to keep making. You know, it's a small amount of people because not everyone pulls those kind of numbers, but, you know, you're looking at a lot of talented people, you know, obviously with his Watson as an example, you know, where you won't see him competing anymore.
No.
I'm sure it'll happen in other games as well. I mean, you look at Methods, you know, Methods is another, you know, he didn't necessarily have the brand as much as like Seth where he had it lined up, but Seth retired and Methods said how much he loved content creation. He's like, you know what, I'm done too. And like now they're, you know, he's doing something great for himself. So it's interesting to see the switch now. Yeah. But anyway.
What I will say as well, I think it brings us on to another topic entirely, which is, this one might be an old one, sorry for everybody, but this might be an old one, something we haven't discussed and I think is still prevalent right now, was that kind of like debate that started happening about pro players should stream.
Yeah.
They should be on social media. They should have a presence. They should be uploading videos. They should be doing this and that.
Never-ending debate.
And it is a never-ending debate. And you know what? I'll happily go on a side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think they should.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they shouldn't at all. I just don't think they should have to.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to be a content creator and you don't want to have a huge social media presence, you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
It is a very, very scary place to be. Content creation is terrifying. It's a lot of hard work. And social media is even more terrifying and even more hard work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everyone. I don't think it should be forced upon pro players because at the end of the day, their job is to play professionally. Their job isn't to be putting out a tweet every now and then saying like how amazing this bloody pizza is or whatever it, you know, whatever the heck they're thinking at the time, or put on content.
Yeah.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
If they want to put all of their effort into getting better and to perfecting their craft, that's what they should do, but they shouldn't have to show the rest of the world that.
Yeah. I mean,
that's how I feel.
No, I mean, you know, can you tell she lives with a pro player?
Well, it's
no, I'm joking.
You're not like that.
No, I know.
You are a content creator,
yeah.
you know, and you're having to juggle that and you're having to find the right balance. And, you know, you obviously, like the Snakebird, been joking with you recently about like, oh God, he's come back 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, before you were streaming consistently.
Yeah, I mean, I was 100 hours a month, basically.
You know, you were doing so much, and you know, there was 1 month that you know, there's been 1 month basically, maybe two at a push, where you've had to slow down significantly, and that's because you've needed to really put that time into working with your team.
Yeah.
And
trying to stay in the right mindset.
I'm just choking over here. And to, you know, really get what you guys have been working on as a team down, and it's paid off. And it's not, that's because you're having to find the right balance. You're trying to find the right ratio, and it's really important you do that. And look, you're easing back into it now because you're enjoying it. Yeah. And it does help, like, to, you know, play a little bit. If you're going to play, which he does pretty much all day anyway, if you feel comfortable enough to turn the stream on and to give that type of energy to the stream, and you can, then you do. I think that's totally up to you and your mindset and the balance that feels right for you. Yeah.
I think for me, like, you know, for the break that I've taken, I've talked to a lot of people about it. I think I've even mentioned on the podcast. It's just been about being in the right mindset. Sorry if you hear doggies.
Sorry for the doggies.
It's just for me about being in the right mindset. Look, Infinite is in the state that it's in, and has been the situation that it's in. You know, we won't dive too much into it, but it was just getting more and more frustrating, and especially with trying to play the game as much as I was just getting into, like, basically just getting into a bad mood, and like it was impacting my life, the vibes, my life in a negative way, especially on the professional side, not as much the personal side, but still, even professionally, like if I'm in a bad mood, I'm in a bad mood.
I'll love you if you're a grumpy old man. I don't care.
Thank you so much.
Grumpy or sunshine.
I try not to be grumpy. I'm not the best at it.
No, you're not grumpy a lot.
Sometimes. Everybody is.
A little bit.
To be fair, everybody is.
Not really.
Yeah, I think I mentioned on the podcast like last week, you know, my stance on it is, look, it's good for players to do content creation if it's what they want to do. If they don't want to, then don't, you know. Does it help the game? Sure. But at the same time, if the game is really popular and the game's doing well, people will be encouraged to do it. If it isn't, you're not. You know, it's just it is what it is. You know, I like I was gonna say. I think I said it in the last podcast. I don't remember about something that Tom Brady had said. Did I say in the last podcast? Do you remember me? Or maybe I said it to you, or did I say it?
I can't remember.
It all blends together.
It
Regardless,
does.
if I'm repeating myself, I apologize, but it does correlate. Where, you know, he was talking about the fame that came with being, you know, him basically, and you know, someone said, look, it's what you wanted, you know, and he's like, no.
Oh no,
like,
this is on a dog walk.
Yeah. Oh, was it? And I thought I said it in the podcast. If you listen, let me know if I said it before. Yeah, and it was like. People,
no, I didn't.
People had said, like, oh, this is what you wanted. It's like, no, I didn't. Like, just because I strive to be the best quarterback or the best this doesn't mean I wanted that.
No.
And it's like, that's what I feel like competitive gaming is really diving into, is like, obviously, you know, you want to be the best professional player you can be. And in doing so, you basically get your own brand.
Yeah.
And you get some, let's call it fame, you know, whatever, right? Fame and popularity and support. But like, that's not necessarily like, that's not why you do it. You know, like I've never once.
There might be some people who
there might be some, but
not everyone.
But not everyone. And like, that's where the whole content creation side comes in, where it's like, some people like really just want to be a competitive player. You know, forget Halo, but just in general,
like playing.
Like they just want to strive to be the best.
Yeah.
They don't care about streaming or YouTube or this or that. Like they just want to win tournaments and try to win tournaments. Yeah. Is that the smartest decision? Because clearly there's this other avenue. Probably not, right? Like it's probably benefits you to do both and to attempt to do both. But yeah, it's just an interesting.
Yeah, I just think the argument of should you have to, and you should have to.
Yeah.
I just think it just doesn't make sense to me. And I think you put it quite well. Yes, it is probably a smart decision to do both, because you will amplify your brand tenfold by doing so, hand in hand, and that's great. But some people might not want to do that. Yeah. They can amplify their brand in a different way by just winning, by being who they want to be, by, you know, I think happiness isn't always, to a lot of people, measured in success. Happiness can be measured in many different ways. I think a huge part of it is obviously success and feeling like you're stable and healthy and happy and comfortable. But I do think that there is other avenues that you can find happiness in. And it might be just honestly doing and succeeding in what you love to do. And it doesn't necessarily always involve money and like success measurement on a business scale. Like not always.
Yeah, I agree. Halo's always been under that microscope because of what's happened. You know, and like, again, we're going to keep it positive here. We're not going to be too, myself, obviously. Lot's not going to say anything negative. But in terms of me, I won't be overly negative. I always try not to be on the podcast. But, you know, it's been the big debate in Halo. It's just because we don't have... I think we do more so now. Like, you know, you got Lucid and Trippy and Frosty. And like now I think the personalities and fan bases has really started to come out a lot more.
Matt's late night streams.
Yeah, Matt Royal too.
Come on, he's been on it.
The Royal Loyals. I don't know if he still calls them that. That's what he called them before. But you know, it's always been a big thing in Halo, a big topic in Halo, because like, you know, basically it's like you've seen what Call of Duty has, and they have Nadeshot and Scump, and we haven't necessarily had that big backing of a player. Yeah, and it's because we haven't worked. Like I said, I think a lot of players do now, like Lucid, Trippy, you know, Matt now with his stream. There are a lot of guys like Collective streaming on stuff. There are a lot of guys who are putting in the time now. But going back to before, it's always difficult because, like, for me, I always think it's like, you know, it's just about opportunity and and like with Halo, it's like, look, like we just have had a lot of ups and downs, and for the most part, you know. Like in a situation like Call of Duty, you have to work tremendously hard, but I think a lot of some of it in esports in terms of like content creation is like right place, right time. And you have to work so hard to be at the right place at the right time. And with Halo, I don't think we've necessarily
but this is what
had that, except for like someone like Ninja.
Yes.
He did.
But then it
involved
wasn't
other,
about Halo.
No, it wasn't about Halo. It was about other
something
games. So.
Yeah. So he's not, honestly, for a lot of, Gen Z, they probably wouldn't even associate him at all with Halo. At all. Millennials, because we'll remember, but Gen Z, no, not at all. It's Fortnite. However, what I will say is, talking about being in the right place at the right time, I think seeing Halo players right now streaming, that is the work for me. Yeah. That is the grind of trying to be in the right place at the right time eventually. Because obviously the numbers are not, comparable to Call of Duty streamer numbers.
You can put it to most games.
Yeah, you are absolutely. Yeah. I'm just putting it to the main FPS game. I think a lot of people kind of go hand in hand with Halo and COD have always kind of been very like heavily grouped together. I think a lot of people who play Halo have played COD and vice versa. It just seems to be that kind of way. They're two like kind of OG FPS games.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. Yeah, I think it's not really comparable, of course, at this moment in time. But I do think that the grind is there. And, we've talked about this many times, like on a walk, you love streaming. You love the feeling it gives you. Your community is incredible. We die on that hill of like how much we care about the stream, right? And it's like the time will come. Keep being consistent, like persevere with it, enjoy like where you're at, and I don't know, just kind of, I guess, keep hoping that eventually it will happen. Yeah. And I think what you've got at the moment is so incredible and so good. And you have consistent people coming in and supporting you and loving you. You really do have an incredible community.
Thankful for it.
And that honestly takes years to build. Yeah. And that's taken years for you to build and for you to like find these incredible people. I literally typed in Twitch chat into his chat the other day that the snake pit gives me faith in humanity, and it truly does. Aww. Like I don't know if you saw that comment.
Yeah, I saw.
And they do. Yeah. Because like I have had pretty bad experiences with Twitch chats in my time, and to the point now I just do not watch them ever. And his stream gives me so much hope for people in chats because they're so nice and so supportive and fun and sweet. And honestly, like, I love you to death, but I tune in for the chat.
For the chat,
I do. I tune in to talk to my friends.
I just want to say, when she says she doesn't watch them, she means Twitch chat. She watches more streams than me.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, I think that was very clear. But in my head, when you said I don't watch them, I was like, you mean the chat? Like you have chat off. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's how I feel with streaming. If I didn't have them, I probably wouldn't really want to. It
would be a so different experience if your chat was different.
That's what I said. I got off the other day. Didn't I literally say yesterday? Like I got off and I was like, I had a really good time. And it's because of the people that come through and say hi, and it's positive. Look, we've made it that way. Myself and the group that is there now.
That's such a big part of that experience.
Yeah. Hopefully, I just hope it happens for Halo, whether it's in my time or sometime after my time. I hope it.
Cross my fingers for you, baby. You put in a lot of work, and it's funny saying that after you've taken like a bit off, but you put in a lot of work.
Competitive wise, I put in a lot of work.
Yeah, honestly, and previous to that too.
Yeah,
with streaming. Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't understand how hard that is to balance the two, and also have a life.
It's like 13, 12, 13, with trying to stream as much as I was, it was, 12 to 13 hour days of on Halo with scrimming and everything. Because you've got to remember, away from the stream as well, that there are times that he's going to have to go and put hours into the game that same day before scrims to like practice and perfect certain things that he probably wouldn't show on stream because it's not as entertaining. That's a whole separate debate.
Yeah.
Stream your scrims. It's a whole separate one. We won't dive into that.
Yeah, we won't dive into that because we could dive into that. Well, the only thing I'll say about that is I get it. I get that from a viewer perspective. Oh yeah, everyone does. Yeah, like let's be honest.
Because you want to see
it. Because trust me, I go on Twitch every single day and night, and
try to find
look and have a look and see if there's anything. I want to watch one so bad. Yeah. There never is. Yeah. But it's okay because
Native Red do a good job streaming. Native Red stream their scrims. They do it with no comms.
Not a whole lot. It's not anymore. Not really. There's barely ever any.
They do quite a bit, but.
They do a little bit, but barely. Yeah, and I honestly, I want to watch other people as well. Yeah. Like, not just one team. Yeah. I appreciate, like, the one team doing it, but from a viewer's perspective, I get it. I do. But from a competitor, I wouldn't do it either. So that's just, it's like a weird balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, we won't dive into scrims too much. I do want to dive, while we're still on Halo and while we have just casually moved on to Halo Classic, us. I want to talk about some of the new things, obviously, in Season 4. And that we will now be seeing, obviously, in competition, and how you feel like they're playing. I've been playing a lot of Halo Infinite recently.
Yeah, I've been.
You have been playing with me as well, which has been so fun.
Yeah.
Because we never really get to play together, so that's been really, really fun, and I've learned a lot, and I've made some adjustments. my
I was like, I
Halo
got a lot on a better
career.
like controller scheme and like
Bought a new controller.
Yep.
Bought Matt's controller.
Yeah.
The one that he uses has buttons at the back, and I can now crouch while I shoot.
Big time.
You don't understand how big that has been for me, guys. I have a great shot.
You do have
My
a gun. You got the gunny.
0% good. 0%. Minus 10.
That's all right. You get there.
Yeah. It's just that, I learned how to G-slide.
Yep.
That's quite sad fact to say, but I learned how to G-slide.
You knew how to. It's just you knew how to. It's just your controller.
As soon as you told me like the best way to do this for me and with the layout, I was getting it. Right?
Oh yeah,
I was G-sliding.
That's what I mean. Like it's not like you couldn't. It's not like you couldn't. It's just the controller layout that you had with trying. She wasn't clawing and she didn't have any buttons or paddles on the back of her controller.
And I'm default, by the way, not bumper.
She was playing default.
I still am.
Yeah, that's tough.
I know,
but we got you
I've
sorted.
Been that way
You're
since
good
I was
now.
10.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but because you use like what everyone else did, and then obviously you never really got when you were coming up in gaming, that's when like scuff became a big deal. You never played with paddles before.
No.
So
yeah. No, I tell you something though. The amount of times I accidentally use my equipment.
Yeah. Because we have it on the other paddle.
I'm gripping it or something by accident the wrong way.
You'll get it though.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I'm
very much trying. But can I just say one thing? I've recently had some dopamine.
Yeah.
For the first time playing. And it was when you were behind me, sat on the stool watching.
Yeah.
And he's like coaching me. So, telling me, he's just really giving me loads of tips, like what I want to do in certain situations and stuff, because it's very different. I was trying to explain to him. It's almost funny. If I watched my footage back, I could tell myself what I should be doing.
Yeah.
But when you're playing, the multitasking is so difficult. I'm so overwhelmed with like wanting to
trying to shoot and also do objective,
and I can't actually think straight. It's really difficult. I can't think of the logical way of doing something properly, as opposed to if I was watching it. So he's coaching me, and I'm just like, I'm on solitude, and I'm going off.
Piecing people up.
I was doing good, wasn't I?
I remember, yeah.
And honestly, like, I felt so much dopamine because he's watching, and I'd like turn and be like, "Was that good?" And he's like, "Yeah, it was good." I was so happy. So it was like the best feeling I've ever had, like playing a video game, like FPS wise, like competing, ranked arena, just amazing. I went up. It was great. It was so fun.
You're adorable.
It was so fun. So that was really good.
You're gonna get better quick. Now that you're getting the movement down, you're gonna get better real quick.
My shot is on point, and then my sniper shots. Woo! Holy smokes! Get the sniper out of my hands.
You're confident, huh?
You see that? I had 5 in a row.
I know. To be fair, she did. She did all headshots too, just peeling people.
And I went back and got the sniper respawned again. I got more ammo and continued. It was great.
You're a beast.
I know. I got backsmacked though to end that. I was too like in the zone.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Anyway, it was really fun. So that's been new in my Halo Infinite journey. But talking about the new equipment anyway, really excited to see how that translates into competitive. And I've obviously seen, you play with it a bunch, but I haven't really seen you play with it with your team before, obviously.
Talking about the Quantum?
Yeah, Quantum, the Threat Seeker. And I kind of want to go between the two and talk about how those feel for you. A lot of people are really excited about the QT. That's what I call it, the QT. Because obviously it's replacing camo, but it has like a completely different type of, I don't know, concealed way of dealing with, honestly, nearly dying. So like every time you're close to dying, you could remove yourself from that situation in a blink of an eye. So how is it playing for you, especially in scrims currently?
Yeah, it's been playing pretty well. I think that you won't see the best usage of it probably until Worlds. People are still figuring it out. You can make, and I'm sure a lot of you who are listening or watching, who play online would probably say you have a similar experience. Like you can make some really good plays with it, and then there are other times that you try to use it and you're just kind of like, okay, I didn't do anything. I didn't get to do anything, So I think it's been really fun. I enjoy it in the sense that it's fun. The whole competition side of it, we'll save for maybe another day of how we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. Yeah, we'll see how I feel about it in competitive, but it's fun. I think you're going to see a lot of cool plays. I think the crowd's going to love it. And that's kind of sometimes what it's about. So,
do you see there being like set plays with it? Because I know camo doesn't really Like it doesn't really kind of, I guess, like play for a set play camo. Like obviously you can make incredible plays with camo, but they're more like situational plays, like depending on like how everything's going. But I feel like with the QT, I feel like you can have set plays just because of where you place your portal.
Excuse me.
He's exhausted.
Excuse me.
Honestly, he's bored of me now.
No, not at all.
You can, you know, where you're placing your portal, you can have set plays.
I think overall there would be some. I think on like Argyle and Aquarius there'll be some set plays.
Yeah.
Just because it's like a flag. Like I think you'll see some like cool like flag objective plays that will be kind of like set, made up in your mind like before you go do it, if that makes sense. Like there's one where you can like leave on Aquarius, you can like leave your portal. You know how you toss the flag out front, obviously. You can set a portal at the front of their base, run to their, somehow manage to get to their flag. And then if you can G-slide with the flag and throw it to the front, you can slide off, toss it, portal back to the front, and you're right there to actually catch it to yourself without being stuck of being in the air. So like a way to cut damage, basically. So there will be some set plays with it, for sure.
That is really cool. And there's obviously the worry that you portal and someone's camped your portal. Yeah. As well. Yeah. So like there's a lot of things that you have to think about. Like when you portal back, you have to be basically ready to receive fire as well. So like if you are portaling away because you have hella damage, there might be somebody literally watching where your portal will be. And that could be, it doesn't have to be close range. It can be from far away as long as they can see it. Yeah,
that's where I feel like Worlds will be the best usage you see. Because I think going into this next event, we don't have a lot of time. I don't think you're going to see the best Solitude. I know we'll talk about Solitude in a second, but you're not going to see the greatest gameplay on it. In terms of strategy, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. You guys are going to enjoy it. But overall, I think like most things, over time, you just see it defined more and more and more. That's kind of what I mean.
Yeah. You learn also from your competitors too.
Yeah. I mean, like you go to one event, your strategy doesn't work, you throw that out, you pick this up. Now all of a sudden that you add something from your old to this, and now it's the, you know what I mean? Like
it also could be a strategy to pick up the
quantum
QT and honestly just burn it. Basically like pop it. Don't really use it at all, and just basically take it. It depends on how comfortable teams feel.
You can use it as a distraction. You pop a portal, and they're constantly
100%.
Someone's staring at it.
The fact that they're camping your pool. Yeah. I don't know. There could be so many different ways to do it.
I had that happen to me. Funny enough, literally, I on Argyle, I had it in their vent. This is in a scrim the other day. I had it in the vent, and I went to their back flag. And I portaled back to the vent because obviously they were going to kill me.
Yeah.
And they were so far pushed back. I'm like, there's going to be someone watching it. No, in the back flag watching my new portal.
The new one. Yeah.
So I was like, I literally told my team, I'm not going to port. Like, let's walk up. And so I think like it's stuff like that. And like they were like two in the back, like kind of waiting kind of thing. So yeah, it's like, it's a big info gather.
Yeah.
To where like that could be even a set thing on its own. You port and you just let your teammate kind of go rogue and get some info, and then you make a decision based on that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's funny because you can have some really sick plays with it, but I love how it also seems to come back towards the camo kind of use in the fact that you can get intel from it too.
Yeah.
Like obviously with camo, one of the big parts of camo is getting information for your team and trying to gather that information without being seen.
Don't always shoot the first person.
Yeah. And often you can get some really cool plays out of that and help, team shoot and get all sorts of cleanups. But I would say predominantly, especially for competitive, the information is so valuable for that. And could be also for the QT as well then, being used for an intel gatherer rather than just to
100%.
like make some nutty things happen and sneak up on your enemies. And to be honest, there might be times where the QT will become actually a game changer for the other team, because if you portal in the wrong place, you can get swarmed.
You get a free kill. A free kill. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited because I haven't seen it used in the type of competitive setting yet. I think watching people stream and play with it, it's very different from watching like a scrim or watching it on the main stage. Yeah.
It'll be fun. There's like some plays that you can make with it where like you basically like snap people's aimers. Like say your portal's here, they're there. You have a portal back here, or you have a portal back here. You can like be fighting them, go to the back and kill them before they can turn around, like stuff like that. So there's going to be some really hype kills.
That's
100%. Cool. I think it'll get better over time.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to use. Like I like using it, which is cool.
Fun
I don't, the competition wise, I'm a little bit, I don't know, but just in general, like I like when I have it in matchmaking, it's fun. So.
I like how the animation is not long at all.
Yeah.
Like I like how the animation to set the first pool is a little bit long, but that's understandable.
Mm-hmm. And then when you click it, like you're saying, when you come back,
thank God, because I feel like that could be a problem. I like that the second you use it, no matter how weak you are, it's virtually impossible for them to kill you in that moment when you've pressed it.
Yeah.
Which is nice because I was worried about like how long that animation would be.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah. I was just going to say that's another thing about online play. It's interesting because like you will kill people who are trying to go back online.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's because of desync.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and ping. So it'd be interesting on LAN even more so. It's something I've really thought about where it's like when you kill someone who's like you could literally tell they're like about to head back.
Yeah.
But you kill them, and it's like it's funny. I'm always like, man, I wonder what that's gonna look like on LAN. Like I wonder on LAN. I wonder if they just.
I think it'll be
they
better.
might not.
I mean, I
probably
used it right at the last second, and it's been split second that I've pressed it. I've gone back straight away.
Yeah.
Without any kind of problem.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that there obviously like with desync and delay like that, it's gonna happen for sure. Threat Seeker. What do you make of the Threat Seeker? Not that enthused about it.
Yeah. I don't know.
You can say how you don't have to like everything.
No, I know, but I'm just how I am on the mindset stuff. I'm trying to just not be like too negative in my head about it. Like, look, we're playing with it, we're dealing with it. I'm trying to just kind of,
You're not gonna love everything.
Yeah.
So you don't have to roast it, but you don't have to love it.
I have one or the other,
Because it's not
I either shut it off and just go.
It's not my favorite.
I don't particularly like it. It's just very plainly put. I'm sure most of you listening and watching will get it. Just from a competitive standpoint, I just being able to see people through walls from clicking a button, it's not my thing. I think it's like the same thing. I think it's fun. Like I like when I'm in matchmaking and I use it and I use it in a really cool way and I get to make a really cool play because of the info I gathered. I'm like, oh, like sick, like let's go. But in terms of the competition standpoint, same thing. I'm very iffy on it. But it's in. It is what it is. Gotta play through it and figure it out. So I'm excited to I'm excited to develop some new strategies. Same thing. Take a little bit. You'll see some. You'll see some at this event, but you'll see more and more develop, more strategies, more set plays, like you had said. I'm sure you'll notice it too. Like, cause you can kind of tell, like when you're watching a gameplay, you could tell when something's very deliberate in terms of the play that they make. You know better than anyone when it comes to that with how much you watch and analyze. So right now it's a little more like random-ish.
Yes. Yeah. It is. What about Solitude? It seems to be coming up unbelievable amounts every time I
play some ranked arena.
Yeah.
I think it's like a thing that happens kind of with when they put something new in. I think they like purposely wait it. I think that's a thing. Someone can always correct me, but I think they purposely
not mad
wait.
about it because it gets me used to it, but after a while I'm sure it becomes a little bit annoying.
I like it overall. Same kind of thing.
Plaza.
Yeah, Plaza. Same kind of thing overall. Same kind of thing. I like it. We've played it a bunch. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's new. I always like playing with, just the new stuff in the game, the new map. It's obviously fun. There's some concerns that I have with it, but,
What kind of concerns?
It's just very snowbally.
Yeah.
I don't think it plays necessarily like as well as I would have loved it to, but again, like that's just, it is what it is. In competition, you got to figure that out. We'll see.
How does it compare to Plaza and H5? Like the feeling of the map and like playing on it, because obviously you're playing on a different title, but it's the same layout, just looks different. How does it feel playing on a different title compared to like playing it on H5?
So it's a mix. It feels a little bit of the same and a little bit completely different.
Right.
Infinite spawn system's different to Halo 5. Weapons are different. You're able to cross map. Obviously, with having a battle rifle now, you can cross map way more. That alone is going to make it play a little bit different. We don't have a camo. We don't have a shotgun. There's just loads of different stuff.
Yeah.
Even the look of it is completely different.
It almost looks like it isn't like Plaza at all in terms of the bone structure. Even like it messes with my head.
Yeah.
Like it feels bigger, like in terms of like taller and bigger than Plaza does, and just like the color scheme is so strange compared to like the H5.
Compared to the H5 one, yeah. And like
it's like really, it took me a second to realize like this is Parza. What the hell?
And there's not a lot of like there is and there isn't like similarities to stuff. Like obviously like okay, it's snipe, there's a snipe lift, you know, whatever. Right. But like then like some of the things that I felt like were really defining, like, you know, for example on Plaza, like the car bottom mid Prius, like now it's just like a block. And I'm like, I wish you could have made that into what it was, you know, like, because if it's going to be a replica or a remake,
it would have been like cool to do like almost like a warthog that's been like destroyed slightly or something
to make it lower, or like, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm not a forger. Hey, look, power to you. I can't do it, couldn't do it. So I don't know what the capabilities of that are, but I think it's fair to say like, oh, it looks significantly different, which I as a fan of the old version, I'm a little bit bummed out, but at the same time I see loads of people saying
what I'll say is the pros is obviously like the detail and stuff of it is stunning. Like the level of detail you can get in Forge now is crazy, so it's like in terms of detail it's gorgeous. I just wish there was more color. It's just it just reminds me of like ice, you know. It's just very bland, so I would have loved a bit more color to it, but I think in terms of like the way it has been made and how it looks in terms of the detail is very defining, and that I think makes up for the lack of color into it. But yeah, I like colorful maps personally. Those are my favorite.
Because it's like it's the debate of it is like, and I do agree with this to a point where like the debate of it is like no one's ever going to be 100% happy, you know, and obviously that's a given. But like people are like, oh, but if you had color, or people complain that it's too much. I kind of like what happened with Pit. Like people are like, oh, well, Pit's, and it's like my thing with it. And look, again, I do agree with that person where you're not going to make everyone happy. But for all the remakes, and this is just my standpoint, I just wish they looked more like, my complaint is that they don't look like the map, like the, like, you know, and the color scheme of it. Like Pit is just like
to be different. That's all.
No, I know.
You know?
And that's why
it's meant to be like, otherwise it's like, well, why have we just got a copy and paste? You know, it is different.
Yeah, it's true. You're not wrong.
So that makes, not wrong. It makes sense in that regard for sure.
Like I said, it goes both ways.
Can't beat the sky in Empyrean though. Damn, that sky looks incredible.
I'm gonna have to go look at it. I don't know.
Like a galaxy. Have you not seen it? If you look up in Empyrean, it's a galaxy.
You serious?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You're
like, damn.
No, I don't think I've ever noticed that.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen like the outside. Like I've seen like, you know, like at Snipe Tower, if you look.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No,
I mean, maybe it's just in the map fly-throughs. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Maybe you're thinking of something different.
When I saw it, I'm almost certain that the sky is a galaxy.
I have no idea. I would have to load up to look.
Faded,
I'll tell you what, I've never looked up.
I mean, why would you?
Yeah. Why did you?
Why did I?
Yeah.
Because I'm not you. Because I'm there for the shits and giggles. You know what I mean?
Fair. You're just checking it out.
I'm just going in and having a little tour.
That's so funny.
Do you know what it was? The only reason I say that is
the overview of the map.
When we first ever announced it.
Okay.
When we had those, we had VTs.
Yeah. Like back in like Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
and
way
it
back
showed
then.
The sky.
Yeah.
And it was like a galaxy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm almost certain it is.
You're probably right. I never saw.
I might be wrong. It might be enclosed and then the sky is above it. I don't know.
We'll have to check it out. Who knows?
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm double guessing.
It's okay. I never saw the video. Like the fly-through, flyover.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Our camera memory card was full, so our camera just decided to turn off.
My heart sank. I thought it broke. I
was scared for a second, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm going to have to look over this footage and hopefully it has saved. Otherwise, this is an audio podcast right now. But hopefully it isn't. But we were pretty much just finishing up what we were talking about in terms of Solitude and the new maps. I'm really excited about, obviously, the changes in Season 4 and seeing them, you know, in play, and see how our pro players and our competitors in the HCS take them in their stride and see what they churn out in terms of cool plays and exciting action and new action for all of the viewers who love Halo Infinite. And yeah, I can't wait. Obviously, we have the SSG tourney up next.
Yep.
And
coming quick. Yeah,
it's coming very quickly. And the next couple of episodes, I'm sure, will be gearing up for that and talking through it. We've got some roster announcements and some, you know, theories of what's going to be happening in the future. So we'll talk through those and the potential rosters that will be going into that SSG tournament as well. So lots to talk about in the next coming weeks. It's going to be good, right?
It'll be fun.
It's going to be really, really
Always
good.
is.
All right. Well, we're going to end the episode here. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting as always. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. And as always,
stay on the grind.
Yeah.